Now let's look at Apple, the world's second most valuable company. It was number one for over a decade, but it lost the top spot earlier this year, and that makes sense. Apple seems to be lacking in innovation these days. Every year it's the same thing, a slightly fancier iPhone, a slightly upgraded camera, and a truckload of new fees. That's how Apple has held on to its dominance for so long, even though it's far past its prime. But now it has lost the number one spot, and even its bread and butter is under threat. A new lawsuit has been filed in the UK, a lawsuit worth £3 billion. Apple is accused of ripping British customers off using its iCloud monopoly. Here's our report.
Apple is being sued in the UK for about £3 billion. That comes to about $3.8 billion. The lawsuit states that Apple ripped off customers by that much. The alleged victims are 40 million British people. They are the UK's iCloud customers. iCloud is Apple's cloud storage feature. It allows iPhone users to back up their photos, messages, data, and everything else. With a few clicks, Apple users can have their data protected. For a price, of course. The first 5 GBs are free. But then, things can take an expensive turn. People have to start paying for extra cloud storage, depending on how much you use. In the UK, it can range from 99 pence a month all the way to $54.99 a month. That's about $70. The prices shot up last year, between 20 and 29%. It was a very steep hike, perhaps too steep for a lot of people. Now, in most cases, if things become too expensive, you can switch to a cheaper alternative, get rid of the wasteful luxury, and live more frugally. But this is Apple we're talking about. What is the alternative? How does one leave iCloud? It is impossible. Not entirely, anyway. Photos, messages, and some other things can be shifted to a different cloud storage, but there are some things that cannot be moved. Some app data is restricted, so are some settings. These things can only be stored on the iCloud, not on other cloud backups. Apple says this is for security, but in effect, this means that customers are locked in. They don't have a choice but to use iCloud, and that is what the new British lawsuit is about. It says that Apple has a monopoly on cloud storage, and it uses this monopoly to rip off customers. The lawsuit has been filed with the UK's Competition Appeal Tribunal. It hasn't been accepted yet, so there's no guarantee that this will go to the courts. Even if it does, the payout won't be phenomenal. Individual customers may get back up to £70 each, about $90. So the goal clearly isn't to undo past wrongs. Instead, it's to apply pressure. The lawsuit is a way to get Apple to stop its anti-competitive practices. The British suit is not unique. A similar one was filed in the US earlier this year. The American case hasn't concluded yet, and already we're seeing this new British one. The message is clear. People across the world are fed up with Apple's monopolistic practices. They want to be free to make real choices, to pick alternatives to the ecosystem. People would begrudgingly accept Apple's monopoly in the past because at least they were getting innovative new products. But after years of just the iPhone 14, 15, 16, the Pro, Pro Max, Pro Ultra Super Elite Triple Plus, people have had enough. They want real innovation, not just some innovative new fees that squeeze them dry. The British iCloud lawsuit is part of a growing trend, another challenge to big tech. Let's see if it can make a difference.